Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Yo, Delta Bravo on T Radio V. That's the radio inside the TV. See the urban exploration sensation Friday 7 to 9. Don't miss the fan and be on time. Find us right next to the chalk line. A true crime, the movie location mecca. Yeah, you drop the dime, it's big left. I'll introduce Danny Boyanaco. 5-0 got LA on lock though. The top though, Wise and Allison James. It's never the same. On a new spot, new drop, new picture, new lot. Who's hot? You need to earn that challenge coin. Find a black Dahlia house, that's the challenge, boy. Delta Bravo, Pain Gang, easy on the slang, man. BX to BK, SD to LA. Just send a Mayday, make way for payday. I'm in my heyday, say hey, D. I'm going in, man, it's time to play. Come on.
Don't let me spit my rhymes. You know, keep that freestyle going. You guys have me open. What's up, people? We're back. It is the first. Is today the first?
It's the first.
It is the first. We're on the new setup right now. We're on the couches, which I don't prefer, but it is what it is. We're happy to be here, and it is our 9th show, actually.
Oh, 9.
It's 9 shows, and it's nice and air-conditioned out here, so I'll go for that. I'll take a trade-off. And
I'm pretty excited because I've never really used a microphone before, but I got to learn from the master.
Yeah, so. I just said, you know, it's like an ice cream cone.
He did, and I'm going to be your new hype man. So
that's it. And, you know, we're missing Nako right now. Unfortunately, we've had some different things come up in the city. So there was a problem at the LAX today. It was shooting at the LAX. So the city's on tactical alert for those of you who don't watch news and whatnot. So that's what's going on. Hence, Nako can't be here because he's on the job and he's a cop and he's working. So
yeah,
one of us actually has a real job. Wait, you have a real job. So
yes, I have a real job.
So one of us actually has a real job.
And no, one of us doesn't have a real job, and
true.
2 of us have a real job.
Yeah, so one of us has a real job. But yeah, no, we're happy to be back. We got my man. We're going to talk to my man from the Warriors, which is I was actually surprised. This is one of the movies you did know about.
Oh yeah, well, so here's the thing, because I saw the Warriors a long time ago, and I thought it was amazing. And what I would do was, you know, when a guy comes over, you have to have a movie ready to watch. And most of my movies were girl movies, like Titanic or Clueless or what have you. So I got the Warriors. So when a guy would come over, you know, let's watch a movie. I'd pull out the Warriors.
So that was we were talking before a couple weeks back. I was telling you we was talking hip-hop wise. I said, if you want to impress a dude and you're at the hip-hop spot, tell the DJ to play OC Time's Up.
That's what you
That'll
said.
get him open. That's one of those jams where like, oh, OC, what? You want to hear? Okay, the dude will be impressed. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, man. Apache Ramos is in the, you know, he's going to be on the phone actually. He's in New York, so it's going to be on the next. We're going to call him in a minute and get that popping. Also, shout out to my man Steve Mona, who was actually fortunate enough to go out there and meet Apache and take him back to the set. We got some videos from that. We got some stills from the movies. We got a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah,
so I'm very excited.
Awesome.
There was a little stranger danger coming in here with no Nako. I need my, you know, he's my wubby.
Yeah.
He's my nice little, you know.
No one to rub your feet.
Nobody to rub my feet. That's true. And but you know, shout out to him doing his thing, and you know, we're gonna catch him on the next episode. Halloween.
Now you came here, right? There was a party here.
I came here. There was a Halloween party. I came dolo. My wife wasn't feeling good. Nako, he stood me up as well. We were going to come as the Blues Brothers, man, and we had it all planned out. And when he got caught up doing his work, he was like, man, I'm going to have to give it a miss. And so I thought, you know, nobody's going to buy the Blues Brother. Nobody's going to go for the Blues Brother. So I was like, this looks like I'm going to church. So I had to go to the old fallback, which was last year's costume, which was we did me and like 5 other dudes, we did the dead presidents from Point Break. So I came in with my Reagan mask and my oversized gun and my suit on. And you know, I stayed for an hour. It was cool. You know, like, you know, God bless T Radio V, but, you know, the party thing, that's way behind me. So, you know, I'll be a good sport. I wasn't sour grapes. I came, shook hands, kissed babies.
Well, you know Ronald Reagan actually liked the Warriors.
How do you know that?
I read it on the internet.
Nice.
Yeah, apparently Ronald Reagan watched it at Camp David and then called up Swan and let him know, hey, I really liked your movie. So
you just dropped it off. Okay, Mom,
yeah.
Go ahead. There it is. Wow. Who knew?
Hey, I'm
and you know what? Let me give a shout out too. I actually reached out to Bobby Mannix and for those of you who don't know, I didn't know actually. So when I watched the DVD, the additional DVD to the Warriors, and she was actually the one who did the costumes for the Warriors. So she did all the, you know, all the looks. So if the Baseball Furies and the AC Turnbulls and the Orphans, and yeah, so there's her work right there. She designed all those, and I got at her late in the game because I wasn't aware of who did those until this week. And she got back to me tonight, and she was like, look, I can make it down there, and if it, I'll try to make it on time. And I was like, you know what? We're going to give it a miss. We'll double back and get you when we do a next episode on this. But, she was talking about how these were Kiss inspired and punk rock inspired by punk and all that good stuff. So it would have been nice, but I just don't want to, since we're doing a 1 hour show tonight, and since we're out here on the couches, we're going to try to, I just didn't want to, I felt it was the problem. We had the same problem when we first originally did the 1 hour show. It was like people weren't getting their just due. So I didn't want to invite her down and just have her talk for 2 minutes and come fight through this traffic that's going on in the city right now. But shout out to her, and hopefully, like I said, we can film some proper stuff later at a later date. But so other than that, I did a little Halloween. I gave the gay parade a miss. Usually we were talking about that. Usually we go. It's a tradition for a lot of people, especially a lot of sober people. I know we go to the Santa Monica parade, but I felt it's been watered down lately.
It
for
has.
a dude like me to be like that's watered down because I used to make sure I go mad chicks just to let people know, this ain't my lane.
Yeah, I used to be
I was
freaky.
mad insecure about that. I was like, yeah, I don't want people to question, and. But I got over it, and it's always a good time. But parking is crazy. And last year it was just too much, man. It was too many people and too many moms with their kids, and it was it just turned out to be another Halloween parade. It was no trannies, and it was trannies, but it wasn't a lot of it wasn't like you didn't get your face melted like you did.
Yeah, you'd
10
be
years
seeing
ago,
a live show of things that you didn't want your kids to see 10 years ago.
So that was pretty bugged out. But we gave it a miss this year, man. This year's been it's just been fast forward, man. I'm looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to 2014, but we got a few more months to go, and we got some good stuff coming up at Bob's Espresso. I know we talk about that a lot. Shout out to Bob. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna tell you guys about it on Monday online, but we got a party coming up in December over there too. So I'm very excited to work on that. But I just want to tease it a little bit, but don't.
Now,
leak
do we
it.
happen to have that picture of you from when you were a little boy?
Doing what?
That you put on Facebook, dressed as a tiger for Halloween. Because if you haven't seen that, is it on our page?
Yeah, my mom, I asked her, I said, send me some. I've seen everybody posting their Halloween photos, and there's not a lot of photos. Nowadays, these kids are going to grow up, they're going to have so much photos, it's going to be wow, too much.
Yeah.
They documented too much of my life. But when you grew up in the 70s, it was you had to spend money on film and processing.
Polaroid.
Even Polaroids, there's no negative to that. It was 110 film usually. So that was the one. It was my first one, and my mother told me, it was a funny story. It's a family, one of those stories that always gets told. But my mother said, I told you when you get to the door, you say trick or treat. And she said, I went up there in my little suit, knocked on the thing. I was like, give me candy. She was like, yeah, there it goes.
Give me that candy.
Off to the races, yep. And that was the first one. But so she sent me that. It was actually pretty funny. But what about you? Did you dress up?
My mom used to always dress me up. I don't know where she got this, but she always used to dress me up like Dolly Parton. So I'd be about, 4 feet tall with a big curly wig, and I don't know what she would stuff my shirt with. Every year for Halloween, Dolly Parton.
That's amazing. You know why? Because I also seen Lenora Claire. She did actually amazing Dolly Parton.
As a kid or as an adult?
Nah, as an adult.
Well, she can definitely get away with that.
She smashed it. It was perfect. It was spot on. But so yeah, and then you did a few videos. We played one last week.
Yeah, that was Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then you did the Halloween one.
Halloween, which is right down the street. It's about 2 or 3 blocks away. So the Nightmare on Elm Street houses are on Genesee, and then a few blocks away on Orange Grove are 2 of the houses from the movie Halloween. And then in Pasadena, there are a lot of Halloween locations too.
Now, I'll be the first to say it was one of those things, that genre for me, scary movies was never my bag. It wasn't my thing. So I was I visited, we went, because they were there. But for me, they didn't lock in as locations but every time we post, people go bananas.
Well,
it's such a strong, I believe me.
Created.
Of course, it's such a strong, they've got such a strong following for horror film. People, once they're into it for life. It's kind of like punk rock, where there's no stores with hip hop T-shirts per se, where there is punk rock shirts. Bands have barely even sold many records, but you'll always see how many shirts Black Flag sold, or how many compared
Very
to
loyal.
albums. But you won't see hip hop like that. It's weird, but but that's the same kind of thing. Horror has that core fan that never goes away. Once they're in, and I like that. I think it's great.
Well, I don't like scary movies at all. I mean, I've told this story before, but when I was a kid, I saw Gremlins, and
That's real scary.
it was scary. I was in 4th grade, and still to this day, I think Gremlins are going to come out of my toilet. So I'm terrified.
The Gremlins. Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Gremlins coming out from under the bed. So I love horror films, but I'm always scared of them for years.
Yeah. So for
years.
me, I give it a miss. I'm more into the coming of age '70s joints, and that's what brings us to the Warriors. I mean, that Warriors. When I think the first time, and I don't want to lie, and I don't want to like make up history, but I can't remember the first time I seen it, but I'm pretty sure we snuck in. It was usually one of those movies. It was rated R, and when it first came out, it was piping hot. I remember a lot of people were like, people are getting shot, they're getting killed going to the movie, they're getting,
That was like your generation's Colors. For us, it was Colors.
I was there too when that was popping too. I was, same kind of thing. Yeah, just like Colors. So.
Were you in the Valley? Do you
No,
think when Warriors?
When the Warriors popped off, nope. We were here.
Oh,
I was in the Valley, but it was Simi Valley when we first moved to Canova Park, then Simi. But there used to be a theater there that would play the movies during the summer. They play all the matinees, so like Grease and Saturday Night Fever and all those movies that were like big hits that year. Then they double them up. They play Smokey and the Bandit, the Warriors, and whatnot, and then we would sneak in. We'd go see one, and then we sneak to the next, and that was the first time I seen it. But really, when the VCRs came out and VHS tapes, that's when I was like, we play it. It was like the Bible. You study that movie. Like every nuance of that thing is amazing. So I'm really excited. I know they give us a 2-minute thing. We're really looking forward to it. Apache, we're gonna call you right now. You're gonna come up on the next episode. Nako, sorry you ain't here, man. You're lost. And
we miss you, Nako.
And coming right back.
Crying.
We're gonna be back with some Warriors. We're gonna have some orphans. You know what I mean? Stay with the show.
These are the armies of the night.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
The Furies. The Boppers. The Hi-Hats. The Lizzies. The Turnbull ACs. The Gramercy Riffs.
Riffs! Yeah!
And these are the Warriors.
We know about the Warriors. They're a heavy outfit.
They're from Coney Island.
Warriors. You guys are the big dudes, huh?
Now they're in the Bronx,
We're going back.
27 miles behind enemy lines.
It's the only choice we got.
Between them and safety stand 20,000 cops and 100,000 sworn enemies.
I want them all. I want all the warriors.
They've got one way out. They've got one chance. They've got one night. The Warriors.
Top 10 of all time, maybe even top 5. I'm saying, Apache, you with me, man?
I'm with you, Puppy. I'm here.
How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here in my cave, and just excited to be talking to you and all my orphans and orphanettes out there, Zulu Nation.
Hell yeah. Yo, man, it's a privilege and an honor, man. You know what? This is both me and Allison's definitely top 5
Definitely.
gang movie. It's the number one. It's the movie that set it all off for me. It's our generation's West Side Story. You know
It
what
is.
I mean? And I'm just glad you made yourself available to come and talk with us, man. How's everything with you?
Everything is good. Everything is beautiful. In fact, I'm still getting over the fact that the Delta Bravo team took me to my old spot, which I hadn't been in since 1978.
I seen it. We got video and everything. We're gonna show a little piece of it. How'd that feel? I mean, it's been a while.
Man,
I'm surprised.
You know what? My whole life, Halloween has always been good to me. And yesterday just topped it off. You know, it was like I seen ghosts. I felt spirits. I felt my man Paul Greco, rest in peace. You know, I can actually remember that summer feel. Yeah, it was good, man. I'm feeling it.
So let me ask you, how did this whole thing come about? Like, how does a movie like that, like, how do you get a movie like that popping? Were you acting before that? How did you get into this whole thing?
Yeah, I was acting from that. You know, I never saw a play until I went to college, and then I went to college. Shout out to Hampshire College, where I got my degree in 1976, the year about the year before the Summer of Hell, 77. Anyways, I was studying theater there, and I had my own theater group called Moto Theater, and I wrote a lot of plays about me growing up in the Bronx and stuff. And I came to New York, and I was acting, and I got a lot of rejections, bro. I got turned down a lot.
It's the weeding out process, right?
Oh my God! So you know, you just keep going on. You know, I did a couple of plays. I did a play called Armageddon with the Nation of Islam's theater group. It was about Attica. You know, remember Attica?
Of course.
And I played a guy named Aesop, and oh man, what a drag! Somebody's calling me now, but okay. So anyways, I played a guy named Aesop. It was the roughest play I'd ever been in. It was written by Saladin Shakur, who was actually in Attica. And we actually had real prison guards, retired prison guards, and it was the most violent play I was ever in. So I did a lot of stuff like that. But then I got an agent, and they sent me for this audition for The Warriors. And I had, at that point, I was really disgusted because I got so many rejections. So I had a black T-shirt that said Bronx with shorts on. And I went to Paramount Pictures, and they had a whole bunch of guys that looked like me, looked like the time period. And I just sat there with a half a pint of rum, being cool because I really didn't give a fuck at that time. I had a big attitude. And this white guy sat next to me, and we started talking. He had a beard, and we were just chilling, and he took a taste, and I had a taste. And he left. He disappeared. And then when I went into audition, it turned out that white dude was the director, Walter Hill.
Right.
He cast me on the spot. So he said, Apache, you real deal. So he hired me right there. So I'm grateful ever since.
That's amazing. Now, did you get to see the script before that? Did you see the other gangs? Did you think that maybe you were always?
You know what? To tell you the truth, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I don't remember. That was 1978, Papa. And I've done a lot of things, you know.
No doubt.
And it would be hard to remember something like that. In fact, when my man, shout out to Steve Mona, when he, a.k.a. Slider, when he took me there to the spot, I didn't remember. I didn't remember that train station there. And he was so cool because he had movie stills and he was pointing out, and then it started coming back. But, you know, a lot of shit has changed since 1978, Papa.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I mean, when I watch a movie like The Warriors, you know, it rings true because that's the New York City of that era. You know, especially in the Bronx and in Brooklyn, you know, a lot of street gangs with the cut sleeves.
The Warriors is right after the Summer of Hell, 1977, when we had the Blackouts and Son of Sam.
I was there.
New York City was tore up. And, you know, that's where, you know, the beginning of hip-hop came. So we just shot, like, right after that summer. Things were pretty bad. In fact, I almost didn't make it to the shooting because one of my boys who was taking me down there got into a scuffle, and we got into some kind of static, and I had to leave the group because, you know, I wanted to be in the movie.
That's crazy.
So that was a close call. Yeah.
And so you definitely were in the Bronx in that era, though, that Bambaataa.
I was in the Bronx in that era, yeah. I was born in Brooklyn, and I was raised in the Bronx. My family first lived on Tiffany, and, you know, in the South Bronx on Tiffany Street, 891 Tiffany. And then, you know, we moved on up to the 174th Street.
So you remember the Black Spades and all those type of gangs?
No, you know what? I Apache myself, I was never in any gangs, but I knew a lot of gang members. I was always a solo type of guy. You know, I had my own little issues going on, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was just trying to survive, Papa. I was just trying to survive like everybody else.
So what do you think? Did you when you were filming this movie? What did you think? You think it was just popping off? You were going to make a movie? It'll come out?
Let me tell you something. Paul Greco, Paul and I, when we got cast for this, and we met each other, we hadn't met the Warrior guys yet, right? We didn't even know what they looked like. And so we didn't even know what this thing was really going to be about, and we just wanted to make sure that we got into a movie. But none of us, nobody in that cast, had any idea that in 1978, when we did this film, that in 2013, each one of us would be getting so much love and respect. I mean, I'm talking to you, Papa. You know, that in Hollywood.
Well, I feel the same way. I'm talking to you, Papa. You know.
And I was 25 years old when I did The Warriors. I'll be 60 on Christmas Eve. You know. So,
God bless, man.
Like getting love, man. You know, I've done a lot of things. I got gold records. I got platinum records. I got a wonderful family. I got so much to be grateful for. But I'm always known for the Warriors, and you know what? It's not a bad thing.
Oh yeah, man.
Not bad
if
at
you're
all.
gonna be known for a movie, that's the one. I mean, and you were the breakout for me. There's a handful of movies that have those standout points, but for me, that was the one because that's really the first confrontation that they get into, short of the park. You know, once they kill Cyrus, you're the first bunch they got to deal with. And that's where.
The thing about the Warriors is that it's not even that violent. If you really look at it, it's not compared to what we see today. It's not even that violent. It was the concept that was powerful. The concept when Cyrus said, "Can you count suckers?" You know, it was the whole concept. If we would all get together, we could really do something.
Right. Now, let me ask you this: what was Walter Hill? I mean, that was was that his first movie at the time? Do you know? I think it was, right?
Who, Walter Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I know he's done a lot of movies since then.
Right.
But yeah, I really, I don't know.
I think that was one of his. I think that was one of his first. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think off the top. I'm like you, man. I'm almost as old, but I definitely, I lost a lot of brain cells throughout the year, so usually I got my man Nako.
Hell yeah.
Our other partner.
Hell yeah. You don't get the name, I've been around the block more than a few times.
That's it. But, I mean, the movie continues to be a classic, and I think younger kids, they appreciate it as well. But it's almost like a fantasy movie to these kids. It's got to be because that kind of New York City doesn't exist anymore.
Well, it's like a comic book.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And the thing is that the Warriors is like the Rocky Horror of gang movies because everybody knows every line, every nuance. I always have the good fortune of going to the Coney Island Film Festival and watching. You have to watch the Warriors at the Coney Island Film Festival with a Coney Island home crowd, because that is their turf. I mean, they love the orphan down there, but that's their turf. And people actually dress up as each character. I got a guy down there that dresses up like me. He's always tall when I see him down there, but he's like, fuck it, Apache's here, orphans in the house.
Wow.
But people think my favorite was the Furies. I mean, I really enjoyed. I mean, it made no sense to me, growing up in that time period, but it was the way it looked was so awesome. I like that.
That's bananas that you
fucked up green T-shirts.
Yeah, I mean, I you know what? This thing we threw it together real quick once you got on board, and I reached out to Bobby Mannix. That's the lady who did the costumes, and she just got to me today. But today we had a problem at LAX. Someone got shot. They shot a TSA worker.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And our other partner that does this show, he's actually he's on the job. He's a cop, so they got a tactical alert. Otherwise, he'd be asking you a million questions. But we didn't want to bring her in because we were going to condense the show down to the 1 hour. But what I saw from the bonus DVD video was amazing. She was talking about, the influences that she had taken from street gangs to Kiss to, to the West Side Story and mix it all into one big thing. So, next time we talk, we got to build, we got to build with her too.
Absolutely. I met we have every now and then we have a Warriors cast reunion. Right. And we had one, I think it was in 2008 at Chiller Theater in Jersey and also in Coney Island. And my man Peter Criss from Kiss was there. He's a big Warrior fan.
Of course.
So I'm gonna post a picture with Peter Criss and the Warriors cast, and he's shaking my hand. We're like, I was always that little guy in the class that had to hold the name of the class.
School, yeah, second grade.
The picture, yeah.
That's
so
it.
We took a picture like that.
Wow. Listen, we gotta pause for commercial break in a couple seconds. How are we on for time, guys?
I'm here. I ain't leaving.
What?
But this time the orphans were invited.
Hey, listen, I got a feeling no matter where you go, Apache, you're gonna be invited, man, because you got that kind of spirit going on, man. Listen, hang tight real quick. We're gonna do a quick commercial and we'll be right back.
You got it, Papa. I'm here.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. How could this be a big meeting if the orphans wasn't there?
Listen, you didn't miss anything. There was a lot of hassle, a lot of heads got busted.
Yeah, you think the orphans ain't with it? You think the orphans ain't well known?
We didn't say that.
Well, we got a heavy rep. You mess with us and you'll find that out. You see that? They write about our raids in the paper.
Yeah. Hey, that's really heavy. The orphans, right? Yeah, our youth worker, she talks about you guys all the time.
We ain't got one.
Well, that must be because you guys are so bad, they're afraid of you.
There's nothing wrong with you making it through our territory as long as you're coming in peace. Cut it, Mercy.
Hello?
Apache.
You got it. I'm here. What it look like? What it look like?
Everything was going good, and then Mercy got to mess it all up.
Women are trouble.
Mercy was a flat lever, man. No, actually, Mercy, Debbie and I are really, really good friends. In fact, she's like an aunt to my daughter. She keeps in touch with my daughter. She's a beautiful lady,
great.
man.
What a great actress.
But in the movie, she was a flat lever.
she switched trains mid terminal, man. Listen, we want to know. Mona told me to ask you about you had a story about a car, and when they throw the bomb at you, you want to tell us about
when
that?
they blew us up, oh my God! Well, right after I said we're gonna rain on you, which was like an improv line, I was making that up. You have to pretend, that you were going after the Warriors, blah blah blah. So they had the car, hooked up, and I saw the stuntman. The stuntman was my size, so he got really close to the car. So I wanted to make sure I was in the movie. So I got really close to the car. And so we're yelling, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get you, Warriors, you punk-ass motherfucker. And next thing you know, the thing blows. And when a bomb blows up, people react differently. I thought it was going to be a little Hollywood bullshit explosion. It was an explosion. And I started running, but they forgot to take the windshield out the car. So the glass blew up. And it rained for real. It rained glass on all the extras, all the orphan guys.
Yep. And
some of them got hurt. So then they took some of them off stage. They took them out, and then they said Eddie the Torch, I think that was his name. He comes out and he goes, "Sorry guys." So Walter Hill, he says, "Let's do it again." This time we blew up 2 more cars, but these 2 the last time I was way the fuck in the back. Yeah, we don't get you Warriors, but I knew that thing was gonna blow. So I'm sure they took the first one.
Listen, play real quick. I want to play the money spot. Mona sent us a video, man. We want to show the viewers what it was like, man. I'm hoping we can get Mona in on this. Usually we have a way to Skype him in.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm here with my wife.
No doubt. I'm telling these guys, play that clip real quick. Check this out.
Feeling a lot of love today because this is where we shot the Warriors. I was 25 years old then, and now I'm going to be 60 on Christmas Eve. Steve Mona and the Delta Bravo Exploration Group has brought me here today, and I just want to touch it. I'm going to put my hood up, and I want to thank Paul Greco, who's not here with us, and I wish he was, to feel the love. This is a pretty interesting moment for me right now, all right? So I don't care if I'm shedding a tear, plus my eyes are fucked up right now, but we're gonna rain on you Warriors. It's good to be an orphan, it's good to be back. Yes.
That was amazing.
See, that's some real. For me,
I wish I could see it. Is that the one where I shed the tear?
Yep. That's good,
yeah. I saw Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, and God bless, man. And you know, I'm glad you're still here too. You know, what I mean? All of us, man. And rest in peace to him. And let me ask you, what kept you from not going there sooner? In the sense
that was only a part of my life. You know, that was only like a 2-week period of my life. Yeah. And your life goes on. Life is what, like Tom Lennon said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
That's right.
And, it was so great to go back. I mean, only you guys could make it happen. I mean, I never really even thought about going back,
No doubt.
I'm always going forward.
I just wish I was in New York, man. We're geographically challenged right now, man. We're going to be there like 3 weeks, so we definitely got to hang out.
Absolutely. The only thing I ask for is that they pick me up. That's about it.
Oh, of course, man. You got it. That's easy peasy Japanesey.
I'm
Listen,
a cheap date.
my co-host Allison, I told her you used to deal with the music business as well, and all I had to say was new, and I could barely get a dish out.
Oh, I started doing cartwheels, jumping up and down. That was my first concert ever.
Tell us about the music stuff, because I actually seen another interview that you did when you spoke about it. I had no idea that's you had been involved.
Oh yeah, you know what happened was when I went to college, we had like a black animal house, and one of the guys that was my roommates was Arthur Baker. And I don't know if you know Arthur Baker, but Arthur Baker put together Planet Rock and all that. And one day he called me and he said, Apache, because he was tight, he said, you want to get in the record business? And I said, sure. And the next thing I know, we were picking and packing records in a warehouse in Long Island City, Win Records and Cardinal Records. And from there, I became a salesman. And then I became an international salesman. And then when Arthur Baker started Streetwise Records, he brought me on board. And when I came on board, I learned more and more about the business, and I worked with New Edition. We brought out Candy Girl. Nobody ever heard of New Edition until Candy Girl came out. And I worked with Freeze, AEIOU. In fact, I'm playing AEIOU for my grandson. I got a grandson named Hendrix after Jimmy, and he's 2 years old. And I'm teaching him his vowels with AEIOU, and I worked with Lolita Holloway and Eartha Kitt, and then I brought in Colonel Abrams. And then next thing you know, we were the hottest independent record label in the city. And next thing you know, we were gone. You know how that happened. And the people that the New Edition management, AMI Productions, they hired me to do the R&B. And so I had Colonel Abrams, Ready for the World. I worked with so many groups.
Ready for the World. That was my lick right there. That when that record first came out.
We put out Trap.
Wow.
We had Dominatrix on Streetwise. We had Rockers Revenge on Streetwise. So I was very fortunate. I even worked with Eartha Kitt. I worked with John Waite from the Babies, Missing You. I worked with so many good stuff. But then, then I got married and had a baby girl. And my last tour was with the Fat Boys. I was a Fat Boys road manager. I took them 50 cities in 21 days.
Wow.
And that's when I stepped off the record business. We got shot at. I just tell you the story. We got shot at in Memphis. I spent the night at Elvis Presley Memorial Hospital. That's when I knew the record business was no more for me. I mean, imagine, I was with the Black Three Stooges, man. That was the only time I was the slim guy on tour.
Wow. Were you rocking the Gazelles or what?
Did I what?
Did you rock the Gazelle glasses right there, like Prince Marky D?
Oh, no. But I was always with Buffy, rest in peace. Buff Love, the human beatbox. He was amazing. He'd blow the house down. Those guys were tremendously funny. But then I had to raise my daughter, and I forgot I had a degree. And for the last, I went in, I worked for my city, New York City. I'm a social worker. And I was on the front. That's what I'm most proud of. Not the gold records and it's great to have been in the Warriors, but I spent 9 years on the front line of the AIDS virus. I buried over 300 people, and I'm proud that I served that community. Then I worked 14 years in the South Bronx, and now I got a nice, cushy little office job. I'm going to retire in 2 years.
Well, when I come out there, I'm going to get a job with you then, because I'm looking to do the same thing myself, my man. That's inspiring.
Yeah, because I got tired of going to one city after the next city. I had a job to do. My job was to raise my daughter. And I'm very fortunate. I got a great daughter. But yeah, so.
And then I'm seeing a trailer called Vamp Bikers.
Okay, now there we go. Now I'm going to shamelessly plug. I just want
No
to say
shame.
a quick story. I'm the shamelessly plug these 2 projects that I've been in. And it's all because of my daughter. My daughter, Ramos Landis, is my manager. She makes sure I get paid. You know, she's good at it. But she said, Dad, now that I'm married and we have the baby Hendrix, you know, there's so many people that are reaching out to you. I don't know who's who all the time. They have this thing called Facebook. So I said, well, what is this? And she said, how do you make friends? She said, Dad, don't worry, you're going to make friends. Now she goes in the mail, but that's how I got my part. And these guys, the Diamond Mines Productions, they did everybody's always talking about remaking the Warriors. These guys from Coney Island, Axe and Bikers, these are real New York City outlaw bikers. They made their interpretation of the Warriors. And they invited me to the Coney Island Film Festival to see them. And they won. They fucking won.
Listen, we're gonna go to commercial in 2. You want me to play the trailer for that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we're on Channel 12 now in Brooklyn right now. You know how they play it all the time? They were interviewed. So today they get to...
It was a pleasure to talk to you, man. We love you. We look forward to it, man. Thank you for all the work you put in.
One more plug.
Give it to me,
you got to check me out in Cabin in the Hood.
Listen,
all right, guys.
Anything you need, man, always reach out to me. And when we'll be in New York in 3 weeks, I'm gonna look you up. We're gonna pick you up.
Absolutely. I'm cheap and easy. You got it, Papa.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Yo, play that clip on the go out, man. Listen, you guys, before you play that clip, I mean,
what a great man.
I can't wait. And the only, when I get to New York, I'm going to send you guys to follow us with that. We're going to see what's up. Right now, you're going to see the trailer to Vamp Bikers, and, I appreciate everything, man. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll be right back. Yo, I only wanted to play a little piece, but you get the gist. Ladies and gentlemen, on line 1, we got the infamous retired Lieutenant Steve Mona of the Vandal Squad. Steve, you there?
I'm here. I'm infamous now?
Yeah, listen, out here, I've been telling so many stories. Everybody was like, yo, I got to meet Steve Mona. They want to know who's who in the zoo.
I got to meet Steve Mona.
Up. Yeah, Allison's got to meet Steve Mona. She doesn't even know. What's up, man?
Nothing much. What's going on, guys?
That's it. I mean, I want to say thank you, man, for doing what you do. For you guys who don't know out there, Steve's a good friend of ours. Steve is actually one of the first dudes, me, Nako, and Steve. We started first going on these Delta Bravo missions, and then when we hit New York, we stay with you, and you take us around the city, and we've cracked a lot of cases. We got a lot of miles under our belts, me, you, and Nako, and recently we just did the film festival together, man. So, it's always a pleasure, man. Unfortunately, tonight we wanted to do the 2-hour show, but we were unable to do the Skype because of the couch situation that's going on. They're actually redoing the studio, so we had to settle for this. My apologies, Mona. But
no apology necessary, man. I'm happy to be here.
So tell me about, so you went down and met Apache, man. It almost brought tears to my eyes seeing his video that brought tears to his eyes for being on the set the first time in 30-something years. Tell us about it.
I'll tell you what, he's an amazing guy, and it was fun because, like I said, he didn't remember, the set. And when we got there, of course, it's daytime, and they were there at night, and showing him the stills, and then all of a sudden it all started to come back to him, and he just started to kind of walk around the block, and some of the stuff I kind of let him, off on his own because I didn't want to, intrude on a little moment there for him, but he was looking around and kind of breathing it all in before. Before we got a little bit of film on him. But it was a lot of fun. He's an amazing guy. Another Delta Bravo guest that we're going to keep on board as a friend.
100%,
Yeah.
man. I feel, he's the kind of guy you feel like as soon as you talk to him, you feel like you know him 30 years. You know what I mean? You go back, he seems like a, like salt of the earth, like good dude, man. And the stuff he's done and the stuff he's been through, man. You can hear it in his voice and you can feel his passion and his he's got that good vibe going.
Definitely.
And definitely, I can't wait
Yeah.
to when we get to New York to build with him. But listen, I mean, you being an ex law enforcement, I was going to say cop, but Nako taught me that is not correct.
Wait. So you're not supposed to say that?
Not unless you're another cop.
Okay, that's
This
good
is,
to know.
Cop Talk 101, I guess. Who knew?
You just said it.
I know. I'm saying this was news to me. But being
You're
former
kinda
law
honorary,
enforcement,
so you can,
yeah. But listen, tell people who don't know. I mean, that New York doesn't exist anymore. So,
Yeah.
and you weren't on the job in the 70s, but you were on the job. When did you come on?
I came on in the mid '80s. I mean, it was still pretty bad when I came on, but that's when that movie was done, and like Apache said, it was like the summer after Summer of Sam, and the whole blackout thing, and things were not great in the city, and that movie kind of spoke to what was really going on, and it wasn't much better when I got on the job in the mid '80s, but that was just how it was back then.
And that was the year, like President Ford told the city of New York to drop dead, right?
Yeah, it was a couple of years
There was a
before that,
garbage
and
strike.
The city, there was all kinds of. The city was
Heroin-
broke. They were
heroin
laying
and-
cops off.
Heroin had taken over up in Harlem.
Absolutely.
Lowest, the highest amount of unemployment, and so yeah, I mean, all that makes the perfect,
And that's the image of New York. Like, I'm from California. That's the image of New York we have, is that 70s, early 80s New York. So I'm really interested to hear about all the things you did, because I still have that image of New York in my head.
But New York's changed. I mean, New York doesn't look anything like that. When I come back to New York, I feel like I'm at Universal City Walk when I'm in the 40 Deuce. And
I'm telling you, you look at those two blocks where the street that we were on with Apache, and then the next street over, they look like movie sets. I mean, they're like pristine, like movie sets. You feel like you're on a Universal backlot.
And that's $1 million neighborhood, of course. Those
Yeah, oh yeah,
if
oh
not
yeah.
more, $2 million spots. But I mean, were you a fan of the movie? Of course you were a fan. You were a fan when that came out. Tell us about like where you were at when that came out, and what your ties to that movie.
That's one of those movies. I remember where I saw it. Cross Bay Movie Theater, not there anymore, on Cross Bay and Liberty Avenue.
Howard Beach.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you had to show that picture, huh?
Yeah. You're supposed to be interviewing, not watching TV, my friend.
I got the mute on. It's all good. But
go.
no, yeah, I remember it was like one of those movies, like you said, like top 10, maybe top 5. And I don't think anybody involved with it at the time thought it was going to turn out to be what it is. But it's become a cult classic.
Right. And so explain to people, because it seems it doesn't seem weird to me. I think that's why I like you so much, is that you're people, but it's ironic that you were a Vandal Squad like lieutenant. How many people did you have under you? You had like 30-something people working for you when you were on the job?
I had 60 cops and 8 sergeants.
Right.
The thing about me though is graffiti as an art form I appreciate. I like the art form. I always said to people, it's all about permission. If you don't have permission, it's a crime. And you've been in my house. I own some really nice canvases.
Yeah.
I just don't want it on the side of my house.
So let me just ask, what exactly is the Vandal Squad?
So it's an NYPD unit that actually goes out and targets graffiti vandals. And when I say vandals, those are the guys that do it without permission. Subway tunnels, trains, people's houses, commercial buildings, that sort of thing.
And you're looking for top 10 riders, though. You're not looking for, without getting personal or whatever. I mean, it's a full-time job, though, because it's in New York. And what's the difference? What do you think the difference is between, 80s graffiti? Because you don't see riding on the train anymore. You know what I mean? So the 80s, I think the mid-80s was the last era of, train graffiti. So now what's changed from the 80s and the trains then to the trains in 2013?
I think a lot of it's got to do with the attitude. The transit authorities, well, if a train gets graffitied, they're not going to run it. 89 was the last year of the graffitied subway cars. There's been changes in security. There's cameras. There's just a whole lot, and a lot of it is backspill from the counterterrorism stuff, because you got all this high-tech security to keep terrorists out of subway areas, and that's if you got to keep a terrorist out, it's going to be a lot easier to keep a graffiti vandal out.
Right. So there's no more popping hatches and running running around underneath the subway system anymore, right? Correct?
It's not like it was. I mean, all of those hatches are alarmed and cameras, and there's just a police response that wasn't when we were doing it. It was just 60 of us out there, and now you got the whole counterterrorism division out there looking.
Right. But now, I mean, now I see you speak on panels. You actually spoke in regards to the Banksy. The big thing that they're talking about in the paper is about people going up over him. So you've actually come out the other side of that now. I know you do a lot of panels. You just did a mass appeal one. We got 2 minutes, so let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. But what I was trying to come to is that you've come full circle as well. Now you're on. You've retired. You attend art shows. I met you through a graffiti artist, which is great as well. Shout out to Caves. You got more tattoos than most graffiti artists that I know. And you keep it 100. You've always been 100. So I think, people, they just assume, they're like all cops are bastards and you know what it is, FTP. And it's like, but you're actually, you're one of the dudes I can count on one hand, like real stand-up dudes that, like, I model myself after your example now than I would like a thug or a gangster that I would have, as a kid. So, I've come full circle as well.
You're going to be teary-eyed now.
Well, if we film it, I'd like to see it.
No, you say, like, I don't know that I've come full circle on it because, back in the day, I thought it was art. I just couldn't say it because I was getting paid by the NYPD. But and I would be asked that question, hey, haven't you seen graffiti you thought was artistic? And I used to fall back to the Detective Bernie Jacobs line in the movie Star Wars. I'd say, I'm not an art critic, I'm a cop. I know when there's a crime, that sort of thing. But
I want to cut you off because I can hear the background music, but I want to ask you two things. One, I want to thank you for doing what you did. I'm envious. I wish I could have been there to see it, first person. We will be there for your party in a couple of weeks, so we will definitely have to re-hit some of these things. Who is your, out of all, and I know Caves is the number one, but who's your second favorite graffiti artist? Real talk, like now that you're on the out.
Lee Quinones.
Lee, okay, that's what I wanted to know. I just had to get the gem from you, man. You know what I mean? Listen, Mona, man, we love you. Thank you. Thank you for getting Apache. Thank you for hooking that up for us, man. Thank you, Apache, man.
It's my pleasure.
For allowing us to to spend some time with you, and thank you, the viewers and listeners.
Thank you so much, and everyone on Facebook.
And thank you for also holding it down. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And it's been another wonderful time with our thing, which is the Delta Bravo Urban Exploration. And we'll see you next week.
Happy Halloween.